Okay, everyone, from that clickety clack sound, it's time for TV Oblivion, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Stanis. This is episode 23, season one. Today's date is November 19th, 2022, and this is the show that brings TV shows back from the dead, and also they're rarely syndicated. So I'm here to talk about them. Okay, so here's today's lineup for this program. From the 1950s, I have the TV Western The Adventures of Kit Carson. From the 1960s, the TV crime drama 87th Precinct, excuse me. From the 1970s, the TV sitcom The Chicago Teddy Bears. From the 1980s, the anime TV series Goldie Gold and Action Jack. And from the 1990s, I have the television sitcom Baby Talk. From the 2000s, the television drama The Agency, and from the 2010s, the TV sitcom Happy Endings. Oh, so this will be fun. Okay. So right now, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Quasar TV. Remember that? And here's a commercial from 1971. So sit back and enjoy, and I'll be right back, and I'll talk a little bit about Quasar. Okay? Thank you, everyone.
The first great achievement was creating Quasar color TV at all. The second was creating a new low price for a Quasar portable. It has our fine, bright picture tube, plus long-life solid-state mini-circuits inside, just 5 chassis tubes. Only $299.95. Motorola suggested list price optional with dealers, slightly higher in some areas. Quasar Portable Color TV, from the makers of by Motorola.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Quasar TV. Let me give you a brief history of that. It was a brand from Motorola, and it was introduced in 1967 for color televisions. And let's see, it was very innovative at that time, and it was. I remember the commercials, Quasar at the end, and then they made the VCRs later on, and they continued to produce and manufacture televisions until 2005, and then it disappeared. And now Panasonic, I think they own the brand. I guess I haven't seen it lately. And when you go to Best Buy or any store, maybe an Amazon, you could. I'm not sure. So I never owned the brand. I had a Motorola TV when I was younger. Well, I was very little. My parents bought a black and white one in the late '60s. Yeah, it was a good brand. Now Motorola, remember, now it made cell phones, and it was a big company. Now it's dwindled down. They still make cell phones. They still do. Okay. At the beginning of the program, I discuss what television shows I will talk about by each decade. So I'm gonna get started. And the first one I'm going to talk about is The Adventures of Kit Carson. I remember the show very well because I saw reruns of that in Chicago. I don't remember what channel, but they were on. No, I saw it on cable. They showed it on cable. I think it was the CBN network or something like that. Where Pratt Robertson from the 700 Club owned that. They showed these old reruns. Oh, that was cool. I like that. So I'll talk about the history of that show right now. It was in syndication and premiered August 11, 1951, ended November 22nd, 1955. It was for 30 minutes, ran for 104 episodes, and it was sponsored by the Coca-Cola Bottling Company. And the star of the show was Bill Williams as Kit Carson, and in the cast was Don Diamond as El Toro. He was his sidekick. He was best known as Crazy Cat from F Troop. He was in a lot of TV shows, lots and lots of TV shows. He was a wonderful man, and very funny he was. And the show was set in the Wild West in the 19th century. Kit Carson was a frontiersman, and they explored the American frontier, and they captured bad guys. They fought bad guys. There was a little romance. Not really. They and it was geared for kids. That's what this show was for, and so it's like all the famous, not the famous ones, most popular westerns at the time in the 50s. Like for example, the Cisco Kid, the what's the other one? The Lone Ranger, of course. Excuse me. And I can't think. Oh, and I can't think of other ones on the top of my head. Oh, Gene Autry. Yeah, Gene Autry show. Yeah, I have it on DVD. And he sang in the show, and he, and he fought bad guys. Nice man. Became very wealthy later on. Okay. Right now, I'm going to play the theme song of The Adventures of Kit Carson. When I come back, I'm going to talk about its star, Bill Williams. So I'll give you a little background about him. Okay? So sit back and enjoy. Thank you, everyone. Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song from The Adventures of Kit Carson. I will talk about its star right now, Bill Williams. Let's see. He was born Herman August Wilhelm Cat. I can understand why he changed his name. So, born in May 15th, 1915. Born in Brooklyn. Didn't have an accent. Maybe he did. I don't know. And he was best known for that role. And did a few movies. Let's see, he served in the Army in World War II, and he co-starred with Betty White on the television series Date with Angels. And let's see, and also he was in the pilot of The Untouchables, the Scarface Mob, and with Robert Stack, and he didn't get the role. That went to Jerry Paris, famous known as Jerry Helper from the Big Dick Van Dyke Show. He did that. He turned down the role as Sea Hunt, and then Lloyd Bridges accepted that, and he stayed. And then he played a lot of, TV roles, and then he just retired, and he's famous for marrying his wife. His wife was Barbara Hale, who as Della Street on the TV series Perry Mason. And their son, William Cat, well, we know from him, he's an actor, and he's best known for Ralph Hinckley on the TV show Greatest American Hero. I love that show. That was kind of cool like that. And he's still acting to this day, And he played in the Perry Mason TV movies. Remember when Perry Mason came back? He started in a few, and he played with his mom. So that's kind of cool like that. Very nice. And let's see. Bill Williams died on September 21st, 1992. He was 77 years old. Excuse me. So I remember him on a guest role on Batman. He was sort of a millionaire, and he was at Wayne Manor, and it was in the Penguin episode, and he had a canopy, like an hors d'oeuvre, and he found a fish hook. I remember that, and I recognized his voice immediately when I first saw it. So yeah, he was a good actor, very very friendly like that. Okay. Next up, I have the TV crime drama 87th Precinct, and that's based on the series of novels and short stories written by Ed McBain, and he was I believe he was a former policeman, and his that's not his yeah. So they got the in 1961 they made it into a TV series, based on one of his novels, and that premiered on NBC September 25th, 1961, ended April 30th, 1962. It was an hour-long show, 30 episodes, and a good cast. I really did. And let's see, the cast consists of Robert Lansing. Do you remember him? He was in a lot of TV shows. He was Detective Steve Carella. Norman Fell, Mr. Roper, as Detective Meyer. I think that's wrong. I don't know. I guess that's right. Then we have Gregory Walcott as Detective Roger Haviland. Where I read somewhere in the novels, he was a different. It was his personality different. He was a little more friendly in the TV show, but he was a real jerk in the books. In the stories. They changed that. And Ron Hopper as Detective Bert Kling. And after I played the theme song of the show, I'll talk a little bit about him. And they had a great cast of characters. They had guest stars and all that. Also, Gina Rollins played Robert Lansing's wife. She was deaf mute. She was in there for a few episodes, and I have the show on DVD. I bought it one day, and I started watching it. I loved it. It was great. It's a shame it didn't continue, And so I bought that, and I watched. And let's see, I'm trying to remember. Leonard Nimoy was a guest star. There was Artie Johnson from Laugh-In. He was in there also. John Aniston, he just passed away, and that was one of his first TV roles. He played a policeman, and I knew he would be in it. I checked the IMDb credits, and I trying to watch, and I found him. He was there for maybe a few seconds, but it was him. I recognized his face right immediately. It was kind of cool, like that. Okay, and right now I'll play the theme song for 87th Precinct, and when I come back, I'll talk a little bit about Dr. Ron Harper. Excuse me, can't say his name. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for 87th Precinct. Let me talk a little bit about Ron Harper. He's the only one who's alive of the four main cast members. And I remember he used to be he played in a lot of TV shows, quite a few famous ones. The first sitcom he starred in was Wendy and Me. That was created by George Burns, and that starred Connie Stevens, and it was like the Gracie Allen character. I remember that. I watched that in Chicago on WPWR TV channel 50. They showed that. It was the first time I saw this show. It was kind of cute. Also, he was also in a one season. Wendy and Me started just one season. So did the Jean Arthur show. It starred the famous movie actress Jean Arthur. He played his son. That lasted a year, and mostly one season shows he starred in. He was also famous for Garrison Gorillas. That's an interesting show. I'm going to talk about these as I go on future episodes. So that'd be kind of cool. And he was also in the Planet of the Apes, the TV version of the movie. He was in that as well. Also, Land of the Lost, and he started in the third season. And he starred in soap operas, for example, Loving, Capital, and Generations. So that's kind of cool. So he was. I don't know if he's still acting. I haven't seen him, but I hope he's doing well. I like him. He's a very good actor. Okay. Next up, I have the television sitcom, The Chicago Teddy Bears. This one is a strange one. Well, when I get to baby talk, that's even more weird. But this one wasn't that bad. But it was. Let's call it unusual. Okay. So this premiered on September 17th, 1971, ended December 10th, 1971. Only had 13 episodes, same as usual. It aired on CBS for 30 minutes and had a good cast. And this was set in Chicago in the Prohibition era. So it was like the late 20s, early 30s. There was no violence. It was a bunch of gangsters like that. And let's see. The cast consists of Dean Jones, famous for his Disney movies. Also in his John Banner, he played his Uncle Latsy, and he was famous for Sergeant Schultz in Hogan's Heroes. I know nothing. He was one of my favorite characters, and Robert Clary just passed away this week at the age of 96 as Captain Corporal LeBeau. LeBeau, I think that's his name. Wonderful man. Yeah. So they were partners in a speakeasy. And there was a gangster named Big Nick Marr, played by Art Matrano. You've seen him in a lot of TV shows. He's famous for, I forgot the name of the role, but he was in the short-lived TV series Joni Loves Chachi. He played Scott Bale's uncle. And other people in the cast were Marvin Kaplan, famous for Henry on Alice, and he did the voice of, I forgot his name, from Top Cat. When I think of it, I'll let you know. And also Jamie Farr was in the show. Interesting, very interesting. Also in the cast was Huntz Hall from the Bowery Boys. What a funny guy. Oh, he's so funny. And interesting in the pilot, Ann Southern was in the pilot, but they didn't take they didn't accept her, so they dropped her, which is strange. That would have been great, because she's a lovely actress and a funny lady, and the ratings didn't do very well. No, they didn't do that at all. And I've seen the show on YouTube. I think there's an episode or just like the introduction of it. So, and I remember the promos when I was in the 70s. I remember watching TV, and I first thought the Chicago Teddy Bears was like a sports team. No, but it wasn't. No. And so that's a shame like that. And so I think that was John Banner's last role. And then he died later on. So when I come back, so right now I'm going to play the theme song of the Chicago Teddy Bears. And when I come back, I'll talk a little bit about John Banner. Okay? So sit back and enjoy, everyone. Thank you. Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for the Chicago Teddy Bears. I'm going to talk about a little about John Banner, famous for Sergeant Schultz in the TV sitcom Hogan's Heroes. Famous for I see nothing, I hear nothing, I know nothing. I love that show. And he was born in Austria-Hungary, born to Jewish parents, and then he studied for a law degree at the University of Vienna. Yeah, that was interesting. And then he became an actor, and he learned English very well. Yeah, and he went to he enlisted in the United States Army Air Corps. You know, did basic training and did that, and then let's see. So, and he appeared in Broadway, and then he appeared in about a lot of movies, you know. But you didn't know who he was. He was just he was you know, like bit parts here and there and all that, and he wasn't that famous. And then he went into television, and then appeared, like, for example, Sky King. Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. He was in the Adventures of Superman. He was also Father's Knows Best. Also, Mr. Ed. He was in there. Also, in, TV dramas, Thriller, The Untouchables. He was in that. A Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Let's see, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. He was in there. The Lucy Show. He was also. I remember one episode in Hazel. He was in the last episode of the 4th season called The Investor, and he owned a bakery. And it was a very funny show because Shirley Booth was helping him in the bakery, and she didn't get any sleep because she worked all night long around the clock, and she was collapsed. And that was the last show that featured Don DeFore and Whitney Blake, you know, George and Dorothy Baxter. And then they went to the 5th season, so, and he was that. And let's see what else. Yeah, so he did a lot of TV shows. And then he went to Hogan's Heroes, and that's when he was famous. Let's see. After the show ended, he started in the Chicago Teddy Bears, and the last let's see, the last episode, the last acting job he had was in the episode of The Partridge Family. He started in that. And I think I remember that. And then he retired and moved to France with his wife. And then he died on January 28th, 1973. But he was a funny man, good actor. Oh, very lovable guy. You know, like I said before, he was my favorite character in the TV series. You know, I have the show on DVD. So, okay. Next up, we have the TV anime series Goldie Gold and Action Jack. To be honest with you, I don't really remember this show, but I vaguely remembered, and it didn't last very long. It premiered on ABC September 12th, 1981, ended December 5th, 1981, the same year. Ran for 30 minutes, 13 episodes, and this was about Goldie Gold, and she was a blonde and beautiful teenage heiress, and her late parents left a newspaper called the Gold Street Journal, and her boyfriend was Action Jack Travis, and they had a Cocker Spaniel, a dog named Nugget, and then also in the cast was Jack's boss, editor Sam Gritt, and so they went on adventures. They fought bad guys, you know, and had lots, you know, Scooby-Doo stuff like that. And let's see, the voices of the characters. Goldie Gold was by actress Judy Strangis. I'm going to talk about her after I play the theme song. Also, Sonny Melendrez as Jack Travis, and Booker Bradshaw as Sam Gritt. And you know, and luckily I found the opening on YouTube, so that's good. And I didn't remember, like I said before, I vaguely remember the cartoon. I used to watch cartoons from the 60s, the 70s, mostly the 70s. I did that, the 50s, some of them. but not the 80s, not much. I was a little older. I was college age, so I didn't have time, or I just happened to see it like that. Okay, so right now I'm going to play the theme song of Goldie Gold, Action Jack, excuse me. When I come back, I'll talk about actress Judy Stranges. So she has a very interesting career. Okay, so sit back and enjoy, everyone. Thank you.
Goldie Gold, the world's richest girl. And Action Jack, daredevil reporter for Goldie's newspaper, the Gold Street Journal. By air, by sea, by the seat of their pants, they travel the world in search of adventure. Goldie Gold and Action Jack. We now return with Goldie Gold and Action Jack.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Goldie Gold and Action Jack. I'm going to talk about a little about Judy Stranges. She did the voice of Goldie Gold. She's best known for two TV shows. That is, excuse me, one for Room 222, and also Electric Woman and Diner Girl. That one I remember a lot. That was funny. Oh, I got to do a podcast episode about that. So, yeah, she was an actress. She appeared on a lot of a couple movies, and a lot of TV shows. So, and let's see, her fame. So she played on Room 222 that starred Lloyd Haynes, Karen Valentine, Denise Nicholas. She played Helen Loomis. She was a high school student. She played the role for 4 years. I hope it's from freshman to senior. I hope it's that. And then she was cast as the sidekick, Dinah Girl, on the Saturday morning TV show Electric Woman and Dinah Girl, would star Deidre Hall. I want to know what she thought of this show, because she's still playing Dr. Marlena Evans on Days of Our Lives, and she's a lovely lady, But I guess this is before she went into stardom like that, and that was her most famous role. Not just Room 222, I can't say that. But also, I watched this. I remember when it aired. I really did, when it first aired in '76, and I was about 12. And they got some cool villains. It's like Batman and Robin. That's what they were, like that. And she appeared also on Batman as an extra on the 1966 series. And she also was in the A-Team. She was Barnaby Jones and Chips, and she did voiceovers, for example, the Roman Holidays from the Hanna-Barbera series, also Butch Cassidy, Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch, and she did that, And she was a pitch woman for the Chrysler Corporation, the role of Mean Mary Jean. I remember that she wore a football jersey, and she was a tough girl. It was funny. And then she became a pitch woman for Mattel's Barbie in the 70s. That's great. I like that. I don't know what she's doing now. I haven't seen her lately, so I hope she's doing well. She look like a lovely lady. She really does. Okay. Next up, I'm going to talk about Baby Talk. Oh, if you want to talk about turmoil behind the scenes of a TV show, this is it. This is one of them. And I remember watching this very well. So here we go. This premiered on March 8th, 1991, ended May 8th, 1992 on ABC, 30 minutes, ran for 2 seasons. It had two cast lineups. So I'll get to the history of that. This was based on the movie Look Who's Talking, and I love the movie. That starred Kirstie Alley and John Travolta, and also the voice of the baby was Bruce Willis. Oh, I can imagine when he did the voicing of the baby, I'd be laughing. So it was a big hit. I think they did a sequel of that also, and he was Mikey. That's the name of the baby. Okay. So it featured Mikey. The voice of Mikey was Tony Danza. He did that, and he was okay. I remember watching that. And it starred Julia Duffy, famous for her role in Newhart, and she's a funny. She's still a funny lady. I like her, and her character's name was Maggie Campbell, and then in the second format, Mary Page Keller starred in the second one. She's famous for her roles in Another World, also Ryan's Hope. Two soap operas are defunct, and also she starred in the Fox comedy Duet, in the 80s. Also, well, here's the interesting part. The first role of Maggie was not Julia Duffy; it was Connie Selica, famous for Hotel. She didn't like she wasn't happy, and she quit. But they filmed some episodes, and so then Julia Duffy took over the role and did that, and that went okay, and and then also in the cast was George Clooney. Which I heard he didn't like it. He didn't like working on that show. He couldn't wait to be canceled or released. So he was stuck, and he had a lot of hair, a lot of black. I mean, he was in Roseanne. He was in Facts of Life before he went up to stardom in ER. Now he's a movie actor. Also in the cast was William Hickey. As Mr. Fogarty, remember him? In Pritzi's Honor. Also in the cast was there was an actor named Tom Allen Robbins. He was also in the second format, but then he disappeared like that. And let's see. So that didn't do well. Then when season 2 came for a full season, Julia Duffy left. And I think she went for Designing Women. When I'm done playing the theme songs of Baby Talk, I will talk a little bit about Julia Duffy and about that. Also, so everyone was dropped from the cast. Everyone was gone like that. And then Polly Bergen joined the cast as Maggie Campbell's mother. And also Scott Baio was in the show now. Also in the cast was Francesca P. Roberts. She played neighbor. Also there was Jessica Lundy. She was in the cast. So that didn't do. The ratings tanked. They didn't do well, and then it was gone. So there was a lot of turmoil in the back. I remember reading this in the newspaper about what was going on. There was cast members drop. Cast members come in. There was turmoil behind this set. I don't know. I also heard the babies were having trouble. They can't be on the set too long like that. Okay. Right now, I'm going to play the theme song for Baby Talk, but it'll play both theme songs from both seasons, season 1 and season 2. Also, the endings of the season. So sit back and enjoy, and maybe it'll stir up some memories. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Buckled up in baby blue, and still too young to tie his shoes. But if a baby could speak, what would you think? Yeah, it's baby talk, it's more than just a silly thought, but mama doesn't know it. It's such an amazing thing. Yes, baby talk, the cradle's gonna rock. It doesn't know it. Such an amazing thing. Though it's only just the two of them, they stick together through the thick and thin, but they don't need to speak to know what they think. Yeah, it's baby talk, it's more than just a silly talk. Yeah, it's baby talk, it's more than just a silly talk.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the theme songs, Baby Talk. I'm going to talk a little bit about Julia Duffy. And she's a wonderful actress. She's best known as Stephanie Vander Kellen on the hit series Newhart. She was a spoiled person. she was bad like that. And let's see. And then she was on the show... she was not in the first season. There was another. I think her name was Jennifer Holmes. That was the actress. She played her cousin. She was in the first season. Then she was dropped, and then Julie Duffy. I can't say her name. Took over joined the cast, She was there until the end, and then she got Baby Talk. And I think the reason she left, maybe she got the offer on the role as Allison Sugarbear on Designing Women in 1991. She's on there for 1 year. I read some of the audience didn't warm up to her because she was obnoxious, petty, selfish, shallow. Oof, well, like Delta Burke in a way, but she was different from her. I like that, but I liked her in the TV show. I really did, and I was hoping she stayed, but she kind of grew on me. But they said, but I don't know if they dropped her or she left. I think she left, and she doesn't talk about it much. Her experience, that maybe they didn't do very well. Which is a shame, like that. She's still acting to this day. She's very lovely, and she's married to Jerry Lacey, best known as Reverend Trask on Dark Shadows. So that's nice, like that. And he appeared on Design Women. I remember that, and that was kind of cool seeing that. So as for Baby Talk, you can watch a few episodes on YouTube if you'd like. It's there. I watched a couple. George Clooney was okay. Scott Baio was okay. Mary Page Keller was fine. It was a fine show, but I don't know. It was just unstable. That's what it was. What's going on back in behind the scenes. That is okay. Next up, I have the TV drama The Agency, and I remember this very well. And this premiered on September 27, 2001. Ended May 17, 2003. Aired on CBS. It was an hour show. 44 episodes, 2 seasons. And the premise of the show was it was about the CIA, what was going on behind then. And this was kind of touchy at the time because of 9/11. And they were going to air, and there was a script written about that involved with Osama bin Laden, with the Al Qaeda, the attack of the West, but they put that on the back burner. So because it was that time was very awful and very sad. And let's see. So they had a good cast. I'll read off who was in there. It was pretty good, Also, Gil Bellows was in the cast. He was famous for his role as Billy Thomas on Ally McBeal. Also, Daniel Benzali. He was in the cast. Also, Bo Bridges. He was in there too. Yeah. Also, Rocky Carroll. You remember? He's famous for Chicago Hope and the NCIS series, Los Angeles and New York. He was in there. Also, David Clennon. You remember him from Miles Trendler from 30-something? He was in the entire show. He was there. Also, in the beginning was Ronnie Cox. He was the director. Jason O'Mara was in there. He was in season 2. He's famous for his show on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I liked him in that. Also, another actor that was who was there for the entire series was Will Patton. He's a good actor. Excuse me. Also in the class was Gloria Rubin. She was famous for her role in ER. Richard Spike Jr. He was in season 2, and then you had Paige Turco. And she's famous for her role as April O'Neil in the movies Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love that show. And I've seen a couple episodes when it aired, and also I catch up on YouTube. It's good. That was a good drama. It really did. And it's a shame what happened. If 9/11 didn't happen, I think it would be very successful. It really would be. Okay. All right, so I'm going to play the theme song for that, for the agency. When I got back, I'll talk about a little about Gil Bellows. You know, he got an interesting career. Okay, so sit back and enjoy the theme song for the agency. Thank you, everyone. Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for the agency. I'm going to talk a little about Gil Bellows. I think that's how you say his name. He's famous for Billy Thomas on this TV series Ally McBeal. He was best known for a movie as Tommy Williams in the 1994 Shawshank Redemption. You know, I have to be honest. I've seen the movie in clips. I've never seen the entire show, but I heard it's a huge hit. But I gotta start watching that. But I don't know. There's something about it I'm not interested, but I'll try try to watch it. You know, yeah. So he's from Vancouver, British Columbia. Did a lot of that, and he was also in the movie Love and a 45 with Renee Zellweger. I remember that movie. Yeah, so did that. And he played on a lot of shows and like that. I assume he's still acting. He is like that. So but he's famous for that role in Ally McBeal with Callista Flockhart. It's a quirky show. It's kind of with the dancing baby like that. So that's kind of funny like that. Seems like a nice guy and a good actor. Okay. Next up, the last show I'm going to talk about is Happy Endings. That's a sitcom, and this premiered on April 13th, 2011, ended May 3rd, 2013. It aired on ABC. It was 30 minutes. And it had 57 episodes. Yeah, that's a little long, but I don't know if people remember this show like that. But it was very popular and had a good cast. So this is what it's about. It follows the dysfunctional adventures of six best friends living in Chicago. Now, does that sound familiar to you? That sounds like Friends, only in New York. So that's what it sounds like, like that. It's also how I Met Your Mother. That's the same way, like the premise. Oh boy. So in the cast we have Eliza Coupe and Alicia Colbert, Zachary Knighton, Anna Pally, Damon Wayans Jr., and Casey Wilson. And like that. And I remember the show very well. When I watched a couple of episodes when it aired. It's like the same. It's like Friends. Well, Friends is better, like that. And let's see. So they had a recurring cast. They had Stephen Guarino, also Seth Morris, also Megan Mullally was she was recurring, knowing her from Will and Grace. Nick Zano, I remember him from what's that called? The Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, I liked him in that show. He was great in that. Michael McKean was there. Mark Paul Gosselaar was there. Let's see who else. Christopher McDonald, Julie Haggerty. Also, Damon Wayans Sr. was in this show. The reason it was canceled is they kept moving the show all around. And, I hate that. And a lot of people don't like it either. And you couldn't find it. They keep changing the times. And then the ratings sunk. And then it was canceled. So that's a shame like that. Okay. All right, when I come back, when I play the theme song for Happy End, this is a promo of Happy Endings. So after I play the promo, I will come back and I'll do a recap of today's lineup of TV Oblivion. Okay, so sit back and enjoy, everyone. Thank you.
Alex, I don't know what I would do without you, but I get to spend the rest of my life with... What's happening here? I'm sorry, bro. It sucks.
This is a classic story of boy meets girl, boy loses girl to guy in rollerblades.
What's up?
Love your tattoo!
It really just reminds me to stay grounded.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Just bring me vodka.
Calm down. Have some water.
Yep, there it is.
Happy birthday, party people!
What the hell? This is all vodka. What? Waiter.
Really excellent work, you two.
I'm 30, and I'm gonna die alone in a light-up Christmas sweater talking to a menagerie of parrots.
We are back together.
Here we go again.
Best night ever.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the promo for Happy Endings. Not much to talk about that show. I already covered it. So right now I will do a recap of what I discussed today on TV Oblivion. Okay, so here we go. From the 1950s, I talk about the TV Western, The Adventures of Kit Carson. From the 1960s, the TV crime drama, 87th Precinct. From the 1970s, the TV sitcom, The Chicago Teddy Bears. From the 1980s, the anime TV series Goldie, Gold, and Action Jack. Also in the 1990s, the TV sitcom Baby Talk. From the 2000s, the TV drama The Agency. And from the 2010s, Happy Endings. So that was a very interesting lineup. So, yeah, I had a good time discussing that. And I should do more often, with TV Oblivion, because I'm a couch potato. I love television, history. So I like to discuss it with people and with you right now, doing the program and other programs as well. Okay, once this episode is published, it'll be available to listen to wherever podcasts are available. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Amazon Music. Also, it'll be on my YouTube channel, TV Oblivion. I'm going to post it on Facebook and Twitter. You can check that out. I have a group and a page. TV Oblivion is the podcast, the group. The page, there's a long story about that. I don't have access to that. I mean, I can't post or edit because I'm temporarily blocked, from posting on my pages. So I got 5 more days to go. It'll be Thanksgiving. Oh, I can't wait. It's agonizing. It's so silly what happened. Okay. So this is Pete Costanza, your host of TV Oblivion, the podcast, where shows have been largely forgotten and rarely syndicated. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the show. I will talk to you next time, probably next weekend, I believe. Probably Thanksgiving weekend, that is. That'd be kind of cool. And right now, it's time for the Pick and Pluck song. That's the ending theme song of TV Oblivion. So take care, everyone. So long.